Welcome everyone to another Integration Quest MuleSoft study group. We're happy to have Achyut Kulkarni today with CurieTech. He's going to be demoing CurieTech and showing how the plugin with Anypoint Studio and Anypoint CodeRotor works and how we can save a lot of time basically and energy and get some work done for you. So we're going to go over that today. We're happy to have him. Thank you so much for being here today. Few things to go over real quick, just the Integration Quest code of conduct. Everybody's been doing great as of late, so no worries there. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing so well. Go ahead and let you all know about the library. If you want to ever check out one of these videos, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're already there. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We just had some new subscribers join in. Happy to see you. But if you've never heard of this before, you can catch all these archived videos on these links that you see and go over there, check it out. There's a lot of information. Somebody was even mentioning the other day in a class that they were just amazed at how much information is out there. There's a lot of really good resources, really good information to pull from. And leave a comment. I like replying back to people. I love seeing new subscribers and comments from people. So like I said, we have Achyut here today. He has been with CurieTech and he's one of their major helpful people. I've been working with him on some stuff and on some projects, and he's been doing this for quite a while. Before he was with CurieTech, he was doing working with Mule 3 and Mule 4 migrations, and he even holds a master's degree in management information systems. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Diane ran into one of your classmates, fellow classmates, one time up in New York. So yeah. Really cool. We were happy to have you here today, Achyut. And like I always say, it's not just about the experience and the credentials. It's also the fact that he's willing to share his information and share knowledge. So we're glad to have you today. Like I told you, Achyut, I'm going to keep an eye on this chat and let you know if anybody has any questions. Philip just came in, Diane came in, happy to see y'all. I'm gonna stop sharing and let Achyut start sharing, and welcome everyone. Glad to have you here today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ajay, for the wonderful introduction. I'll share my screen. So before I share my screen, I just want to tell you that I'll just go through some slides because some of you might not know CurieTech. So I'll just give some basic foundation on when we were found, what we actually do, what are the things that you can find from our platform, and how you can use our platform to accelerate your MuleSoft development. And also I'll be showing some use cases on our platform. Here I'll be showing a demo on how you can use the platform as well. Yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen.
That's a great place to start. Like we were talking about before the recording started, we even know Ryan, he uses CurieTech. So some people are familiar with it and others aren't. So you're starting at a great place.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so we are CurieTech AI. We are the first and only agentic AI platform, which was specifically focused for IT integrations. And like you might be knowing, there are multiple AI platforms right now. We are in the AI era, right? So there are a lot of AI platforms built for generic coding there. But Curie was the only first AI platform that was focused on IT integrations. Just a brief introduction about our company. So we are a Silicon Valley-based startup founded back in 2023, and is led by Ashish Thuso, who is our founder and CEO. He's a serial entrepreneur. Previously, was also working as a general manager at AWS for AI and ML SageMaker business. A bit about our team. Our team is comprised of a highly talented individuals who have deep experience in AI and ML space and have done research in this domain, specifically in universities like Stanford. And we're also venture backed, and we are growing extremely fast right now. A lot of developers across all the companies are using Curie for for their day-to-day use of for their MuleSoft development work. So to introduce Curie, you might be wondering what exactly does Curie do? Is it just like coding? Is it just I provide a chat in let's say ChatGPT, and do I get a response? Is it similar to that? What exactly are the differentiators from other AI platforms? What are its capabilities? And also we would like to, like, we might be wondering, like, like, if Curie is a platform, like how it will help in accelerating your MuleSoft development. You might have a lot of questions basically on this. So just to clear all those doubts, to introduce Curie. So Curie is an agentic developer which is built specifically for like IT integrations. In simple terms, if you would want to think, you can think Curie as your senior MuleSoft developer who will be joining the team. One that can like handle like even complex tasks as well, and also like delivering precise and accurate outputs each and every single time when you are starting any task for your development activities. So Curie can perform the full range of engineering tasks you would expect from any developer. Like, those are the normal things that you might be expecting as well. For example, like coding and creating a unit test. But like Curie is more than that. So Curie is not a platform which is just confined to code generation right now. Curie is growing more than that. So we are trying to make sure that we are reducing the friction that the developers used to face while they are working in their organization. So we are not just confined to like generating code inside the ID. We're also working on how we can reduce the time or automate the task that goes beyond the ID as well. Apart from like just coding, Curie also helps in creating unit testing and integration testing. Curie helps in creating a full-fledged documentation as well. For example, including the flow diagram, the sequence diagrams, etc. And Curie also helps in reviewing the code. And someone who is actually working on real projects, they might be knowing how exactly how tough is reviewing a code, because especially if a team lead is taking care of, let's say, 5 developers, he has to go through each and every developer and each and every line of the code that the developer is kind of merging to the Git platforms. And it's such a huge task as well, because even a small mistake can cause issues in production, and that might even cause issues in the business as well. So it's very important to review the code. But Curie is helping in this stage as well, wherein it's kind of automating the task. You can use Curie for code reviews right inside your Git platforms, which I'll be showing in the demo in few minutes. And apart from it, Curie is also helping in chatting with your code as well. So like, even when I was a developer, as a MuleSoft developer before, whenever I used to get a new project, or whenever I used to be in a new sprint or something, there was always kind of ambiguity within me, like exactly, first of all, I need to like go through the entire documentation on what exactly is the sprint all about. And if it's a new project, I had to like go through the code which was written before, and it was taking a lot of time for me to understand. And I used to like wait for my senior developers to help me understand the code exactly on what is the business logic of the code. But with Curie, there's no stopping you like from gaining knowledge about that. So all you have to do is just provide your repository in that case, and just ask any number of questions. It might be even a simple question as well as a complex question as well. Qt will help you answer that, and it will answer in such a way that you understand what exactly you wanted to do. And along with that, you can just ask it to like implement things as well. So like, the human is always in the loop, but it's also helping you in automating that, so that we kind of make sure that our integration delivery becomes faster and faster. So, as an agentic developer platform, you might be expecting like like some of these basic skills which I mentioned before, like Qt can do coding or data view or documentation, and testing as well. But but in a real project, these things like these things always matter. The basic skills matter, but there are a lot of advanced skills that are required in a real project. But Curie doesn't stop just with the basic skills. So Curie also helps in generating or like automating the skills in advanced sections as well. For example, if you would want to generate your code directly from API specification, Qt can obviously do that. So all you have to do is just generate an API specification and just ask it to build the Mule 4 code out of it. You can provide any business logic to generate the code out of it, and it can help you do that. Qt can help you do code refactoring. It can help you optimize your code. Optimization is such an important factor here. It's always good to have a code which is optimized and like in a way which is according to the coding guidelines of your organization. There will be always a lot of dead codes present in your repository. It's always important to make sure that your code is optimized to the correct number of flows, and it makes sense in terms of your delivery. Qt also helps in troubleshooting as well. Troubleshooting is also one of the main factors that the delivery might go beyond the extended deadline, because a lot of times, even like a developer who is working on any API might get into some error which he might not understand what exactly is the error, what is the root cause of that, and how to fix it as well. And again, there is a friction there. Again, he has to either reach out to the manager or a team lead, and when they look at the code, they have to again verify what was the changes that have been done. So it's such a long process that goes on. But with Qt, you can troubleshoot easily. Not only you can just paste your errors and ask it to troubleshoot it, but you can also, now we can like upload files and even like images as well, wherein it can help you troubleshoot the errors. It can help you give the root cause on what exactly is the error, and it can help you like tell you like in terms of how to fix that error as well. And basically it will tell you how is this going to impact your code if you don't fix this error. So all of this information is very critical when it comes to a real project. And I've already mentioned about code review and how you can do that. We also help in doing advanced EDI transformation, which none of the other AI platforms can help you with. So we support like HL7, EDI fact as well. So you can use our data view generator agents for generating data views with all of our EDI transformations. And as I mentioned about chatting with your code, you can do that as well. Now, not only we support unit testing, we like obviously do that, but integration testing is also one of the major, it's as important as developing your code. So integration testing, when it comes to end-to-end testing, because MuleSoft being an API-led architecture, there are a lot of calls that that one API might be doing. So it's always important to make sure that your end-to-end testing is perfect, and it's good to go to the next team, because not all teams would have a QA team or a testing team. Most of the companies would be having a small MuleSoft team, and it's always important for a developer who's developing that API that he has to be sure about what he the code has been built. So integration testing is also very important, and with Qt you can now do integration testing as well. We can help you do with karate test or either Postman collections by generating it. We can help you format your API specification. It can be from RAML to OAS, or even vice versa, from OAS to RAML as well. And we also help you do with Mule upgrades. It can be either from the lower version of the runtimes to the higher version, or even Java upgrades as well. And last but not the least, we can help you with the migrations from your legacy platforms to MuleSoft. And we also have the agents called as one-click migration. So there's nothing that a user has to do. Just upload your repository, just provide the endpoints for which you would want to migrate, and you're done. You'll be getting fully built MuleSoft code at the end, which you can use it. And then again, you can use our build agents to refine it. But migration is also such a huge task, because when I was migrating from Mule 3 to Mule 4, we were taking almost probably 4 to 5 sprints for migrating one or two APIs. Talking about like medium complex APIs. So it was always a very hard task to migrate, because first of all, as a developer, you need to know the legacy platform first, be it Mule 3 or either some other platforms like TIBCO, IBM, Boomi, etc. So you need to first understand what the code is in the legacy platform, and then you have to make sure that you are migrating it in the right way to Mule before. So with Curie, you're automating that as well. And all of this which I mentioned about the skills that Curie can do, all of this can be done behind the scenes. So there's no need for you to wait for wait for any response that you will be getting from each and every skill or any task that you might be performing. So what you can do is just probably, let's say you are trying to build a mule for flow, you can start a coding task, and in the same time when the task has been submitted, you can start a documentation task for some other API as well. And you can do like multiple tasks at once. So there's you're not restricted for one task at a time, or you are not doing it sequentially, unlike other AI platforms that you see, which are like IDE specific. Most of these platforms are specific, like are sequentially doing it. So you have to wait for the response, and then you have to reprompt it again and again, and then you get the output, and then you do the next thing there. And also you're not working on multiple repositories and other AI platforms, but with Curie you can work with multiple repositories at a time. So that's the major advantage of using Curie as a platform here. And again, with all of this, human is always in the loop, because a developer has to verify the code that's being generated, and he can provide the feedback, and based on the feedback, Curie will regenerate that output for you. So just I've all like explained about why why we need to use Curie, but just to refine that, or reiterate that. So Curie, why would anyone want to use Curie more than other factors or the advantages which I just mentioned? Curie is a platform which is purpose built for IT integration. So it deeply understands the nuances of IT integration. It has all the knowledge bases. It knows the best practices that's being followed in the MuleSoft development phase there. And the code that we generate is not just a normal code. So we are compiling and deploying it locally behind the scenes. That's where you're getting that highly accurate code. So that we make sure that even before like you get the code, we are looking into all of those syntax errors or POM dependencies, those small errors that can take you like hours together to to build that, or to troubleshoot that. We are making sure that we are cutting that time off, and you're getting the highly accurate code in that case. And this is possible because we have our own fine-tuned models. So apart from we calling the frontier models, we also have like our fine-tuned models specifically for MuleSoft development in terms of data view transformations or even generating the code as well. And Curie can generate the code according to the best practices. But even if you have a specific coding guidelines that which you would want Curie to generate the code according to your coding styles, you can always provide a template or either provide a document about your specific coding guidelines, and Curie will follow all of that, even for generating the code, or it might be even for reviewing your code as well. And some of you might all I think it's everyone is using AI for each and every task. It might be MuleSoft development or either other things as well, right? And you might be knowing how prompt engineering is important. The better prompt you give, that the better output you'll be getting. So prompt engineering is such a important factor to generate an output. And when you're working for a real project, it's always important that you give the entire details about what you're building. And and as a human, it's always impossible to generate a highly accurate prompt for that task, because you might be missing few things here and there. But Curie is helping you with this space as well, when it's helping you build the prompt here. So basically, just to give a small example, which I'll be showing the demo as well. Basically, you'll be just providing a small line of prompt, which you would want to, which you're looking or intending to implement using our platform. Basically, Curie will start asking you questions. It will ask you questions until and unless it has everything that it needs for generating a task. And Curie knows exactly, when you provide all of those answers, Curie will understand your intent. That's when it's going to build a prompt for you. And you can verify the prompt as well even before you start a task. That's where you get to know what exactly is going to be implemented, because a lot of time is being spent in reprompting after you generate the output. Unlike, like, in other AI platforms, like when you just provide a prompt, it just generates the output in, like, 10-15 seconds. But those code will be, like, not even close to what you would be looking at. So you will be spending time on, first of all, verifying what was actually generated, and then you will be spending time on, like, what exactly are the feedback that you would want to provide, and then you would regenerate that code. You'll be doing this for almost 10 iterations until and unless you get at least 50% of the accurate result. But Curie is reducing that time there, wherein it's like trying to get the best output at your first instance. That's where Curie is trying to win there. And apart from all of this, Curie is, as I mentioned, Curie is not just confined to, like, generating the code for you. We are trying to build or automate things for the end-to-end workflows. So it might be even generating spec. Spec might be not just API specification. This goes beyond that. For example, we can generate design specifications for you. Now we have integrations with Anypoint, Exchange, Jira, and Confluence as well, wherein you can connect to any of these platforms. You can fetch Jira tickets, or even you can like fetch any document from Confluence. You can create a design document from any of the supporting documents that you provide, or even now we have an option where you can provide your meeting recordings as well, wherein from that meeting recording, Qt will be able to understand what exactly was discussed, and you can generate a design document based out of it. Now you'll be going from meetings to design documents in minutes, which was taking like hours together before. And after you create a design document, you can like ask it to start like creating Jira tickets for you, and then you can build code, and then unit testing. You can do integration testing. We can help you with documentations, and someone who is a developer might understand the pain of creating documentations. It's not just about the writing in a natural language what's in your code, but it also, like, takes a lot of time. If you might experience, if I might experience creating flow diagrams or sequence diagrams in draw.io or any other websites, it's such a huge pain for developers, because most of their time is already spent in coding or either testing, and now they have been left with such a less time to create those documents. It's always a very time taking task, and also a very hard task for developers to do that. But Curie can automate that. And finally, Curie can help you deploy these applications to Cloud Hub as well. So basically, since we have your connections to Anypoint platform, you can deploy directly your applications to Cloud Hub. And even after you deploy to Cloud Hub, if there are few errors, or, like, if you have to troubleshoot few issues, you can use Curie for that as well, wherein you can provide any image or any context in that case, and Curie will help you troubleshoot that and fix that error. And apart from it, the last thing is, Curie can help you, like as I was explaining about your chatting with your code, wherein Curie is reducing that friction between the junior developer and the senior developer. So this means that this platform can be used by any developer, irrespective of their working experience. So it's like that. Even a junior developer who might have started MuleSoft just now can now understand the code, because Curie can help you understand in such a way that you can understand what exactly is being built, and how you can optimize that as well. This is just a small, a slide which talks about the benchmarks that we recently did across all other AI platforms. And again, this is just to show you that why Curie is standing shoulders above all of these platforms, is because Curie is the only platform that is purpose built for MuleSoft development. It understands the nuances of IT integration, and also it has the knowledge basis of all the MuleSoft use cases. So that's the reason that because of the fine-tuned models, that's where you're getting that accuracy level. And we did, like, we did a multiple task, and not just that, we did like one task to compare with all of these platforms. We compared with 50 tasks in for simple tasks, and also like almost 50 tasks in complex scenarios as well. And that's where we got this output. And this is just to show you that generic AI platforms are good for generic coding, but when it comes to domain specific challenges, you should always look at platforms that are purpose built for that. And also, I'm not sure if many of you, you might be aware that Curie is the only platform which can support. It's the only AI platform that can be supported in Anypoint Studio, by the way. So we have plugins for both VS Code and as well as Anypoint Studio. So if you are using VS Code, you can go to Marketplace and then install the plugin there. But I think like most of the developers are still in Anypoint Studio, and they love being in Anypoint Studio. So there's no need for developers to go out of their IDE to work on their MuleSoft development task. You can use our plugins directly from the Anypoint Studio. You can click on chats to create a new chat. You can start chatting. Start chatting with your code directly from the studio. You can start tasks from your code studio. And also you can there's no need for even for developers to copy the code from browser and then come back to IDE. You can just click on a button, and all of your changes that has been updated will be automatically displayed in your plugin, or in your IDE console flow there. So it's very simple. I'll be showing you how exactly it looks like and how you can use it. So let's go to the demo here. I'll be showing some use cases on how you can use a platform. So this is our landing page. That's platform.curietech.ai. We have a lot of chats here on the left hand side. So here on the left hand side, if you click on task, you'll be seeing all the list of tasks that I recently ran. And Curie also has this notion of workspaces. So if as an organization you'll be using Curie, there might be multiple projects that you might be working on. So you can click on just on the top left wherein it says Curie demo here, but you can create n number of workspaces, and you can invite your colleagues to those workspaces, and then you can work on those projects specifically for those workspaces there. So there's no need for you to keep all the projects in a one workspace. You can make sure that all of these are clean, and they are just confined to a certain project. So you can make use of those workspaces as well. And apart from it, we have this chat interface for your development task, wherein you can use this chat interface for any of your issues that's being there. For example, even for chatting with your code, you can use chat interface. Even for generating any task, you can use this chat interface as well. But if you might be wondering, if there is a chat interface, why would we need these tiles below? So these tiles, these are nothing but the agents that are being built for all of these specific development tasks. So once you're a pro user and you know exactly which agent to choose for which development task, and what is the prompt that you should be giving for each of these tasks, you can obviously use these tiles. For example, if I just click on coder, you'll be getting a lot of options here. For example, you need to first upload a repository and then provide a good description of what exactly you would want to build. And then you have other options, such as you might need to click on run verification, click on VM arguments, and etc., and then submit a task. But here you should be knowing on when you should use repository coder, when you should be using a data view generator, or when you should be using an immunity test generator. So if you are confused on which agent to choose for which development task, and what exactly is the prompt that you should be giving, so you can use tiles if you know that. But I would always recommend users to use our chat interface, because it's like a senior engineer or a senior integration engineer who will guide you on getting that task done. And basically it will ask you a lot of questions, so exactly it has all the information before even it starts a task there. And it will redirect the task to the right agent as well, so there is no need for users to worry about which agent to choose. And also, as I mentioned, it's going to build the prompt for you as well, so users don't need to worry about building the prompts on their own. So let's go into how you can start a task, right? So basically, there are two ways wherein you can start a task. Either you can provide a code context before you start something, or if there's any if you don't have anything to start with, you can like basically start chatting with the chat interface here, saying exactly what you are looking for. um, so uh, there might be scenarios wherein starting a project from scratch, which wherein you don't have any document. So in that case, you might just start providing a small prompt on what exactly you would want to do. But if there are some cases wherein you have a repository wherein on top of it, if you would want to build something or update that API, you can choose repositories from this tab option, wherein you can click on select repositories. You'll be getting a list of repositories here. Or either you can upload a repository directly from your local folder as well. That's also possible. Or either you can connect your Git repositories. The procedure or the way on how you can connect your Git repositories is you can go to the settings page, and if you click on repositories here, so here we support multiple platforms. On whichever Git platforms you might be using, it might be GitHub, Bitbucket, GitLab, or Azure DevOps. You can connect to any one of them, and then when you connect to GitHub, or let's say I'm just taking an example of GitHub, you can choose which project or which repository exactly you would need for this workspace. And for some other workspace, you can have other repositories as well. So it's not like when you have these three repositories in this workspace, this will be added in some other workspace as well. It will be completely different from this workspace, so you can keep all of your projects separate from each other. And you can click on manage connections to add your repositories here. And once you add your repositories, you can also add your runtime settings and VM arguments, and click on save. I would recommend users to do this during the onboarding time, so that um, um, like you don't have to do it each and every time when Curie asks, either in chat interface or in the tile mode, because we require all of these runtime settings, as I mentioned in our slide deck, that we kind of compile and deploy behind the scenes even before we generate the code for you. So even for unit testing, we would obviously need to run the project, right? Because we would have to provide you the coverage. So it's always important to provide all of these runtime versions and VM arguments, so that we have all of this information in the like upfront before even you start a task. And then you can use this platform as a code context to start any of these your day-to-day life projects. And also, apart from it, we have this upload files option, wherein you can use this upload files in terms of if you can provide any supporting documents. It might be even coding guidelines in this case, or either you can provide coding guidelines in your workspace settings. If you come down, you can see a space specifically which is there for providing your coding guidelines. This can be a natural language document, which will have all the information about how you would want your code to be generated, what are the specific rules and regulations that your organization might be following. You can provide all of this information here. And I was talking about using multiple repositories so as well. So you can, when you click on select repositories here, now I have, like, let's say three repositories, so I can choose all three of them like at once, and then you can start, click on confirm, and here we can see that three repositories have been added here, and then you can start a chat. So this is very much helpful, because let's say you're creating an experience API. You might need the code context or the knowledge basis of the both process API and the system API as well. So it's very important when it comes to a real project. It's very important that Curie or the agent should know about what was being built before, and because it should have all the knowledge so that it can generate the right output for you. And um, and in top of this, you can also provide a template in this as well. So we can just say that, hey, I have provided three repositories in this. One repository is my template, which name is like xyz, and just say that please use that template to generate the output according to what has been used in that template. in terms of coding style or any naming specifications, etc. And then just follow up on what all things are being asked and then generate the output. So that's one of the best ways to do it, and you can, the better the code context is, that's when you get the right output. So it's always important to provide code context if you are like updating any existing API specifications or any API repositories as well. So now let's go to some of the use cases. Maybe I'll just show you like how you can create a basic raml specification and then generate an mule 4 out of it. So this was a chat which I started, and again, this was without providing any code context. So since I was starting this project from scratch, I was not using any code context here. And I just started with, hey, I want to create a raml specification for customer orders API. And as you can see in this, I have not provided much information about what exactly needs to be built. What are the detailed information that needs to be built for this raml specification? Since Curie doesn't have the right information on what needs to be built, that's where it's asking you a lot of questions here. For example, what are the endpoints are you looking for? What data should be included in this order? So when you see all of these questions, that's when you start to think about it. Oh yeah, I think I missed this place. I think I should have provided this information. So that's when you think about it, and then gather information about it, and then you provide that answers. So in this case, I just provided what exactly I would want to build. And when Curie knows that it has all the information, it will build you this whole entire raml. So this is a fully functional raml specification that was built. If you would want to generate a OAA specification, you can just mention on top of this that, hey, can you please generate an OAA specification for me? Just to show you on the raml specification, this has everything that you would need. For example, a base API definition, the resource types in this case. We also have the endpoints below. For example, what are the HTTP methods being used? What is the description of it? What are the query params? Or is it a URI param? And an example for each of these as well. And by the way, these examples are like generated by its own, since I had not given any specific examples or data that needs to be used. So it generated a dummy values. You can always take this and then replace it, or if you provide the exact specific data that should be used, it can help you generate with that values also. So that's one thing. And even after you generate a raml specification, there might be chances that you would want to make some changes. So all you have to do is just in the next prompt just provide, say, hey, can you please change this specific line of code to something else? Just provide that feedback and then click on submit. Curie will automatically regenerate that output for you, and then again you can verify that. So after this, I would want to take a step forward, because like in a usual scenario, when a developer creates a raml specification, the next thing that is usually done is to publish that API to exchange. So this is the same case I was doing, wherein I just asked, hey, can you please publish this API specification to exchange? And I provided a name for which it should publish this. And by the way, you might be thinking, how is this able to connect to my Anypoint platform? So when you go to settings on your account, you can click on integrations. That's where you can see Anypoint Exchange, Jira, and Confluence as well. You can connect to all of these platforms. For Anypoint platform, you can provide your client ID and client secret. For Jira and Confluence, you can just provide your email, the URL of your Jira workspace, and also an API token which can be generated from your Atlassian settings accounts, and then you are good to go. So you can use this for all of your workflows. I'll also be showing after this use case on how you can use Jira and Confluence as well. So basically, yeah, I asked it to publish this API specification to Exchange, and it was able to do that. So this is where you're not even going out from this platform. So you are always there in Curie platform. You can do a lot of things from this platform as well. So that you're saving a lot of time, and all of these workflows are in a single space, so that you can come back and verify what exactly you did here, and you can go through all of this. So now that I have my API specification in Exchange, usually the next thing that people do is to generate an implementation flow. That's where I was asking you to do. I just asked it, hey, can you please generate a Mule 4 flow for me using the above YAML specification? In this case, I gave a basic logic about how this should be used. I asked it to use a choice router to make this. I mean, if you know exactly what logic has to be implemented, you can provide that. It can be either from simple to complex, it doesn't matter. But if you don't if you don't know exactly what should be the logic should be implemented, Curie will automatically build that using its knowledge. You can always refine that after generating the code. You can always do that, but it's always better if you know what exact changes or the logic you would want to use in creating this implementation flow. You can provide that upfront, even before you start a task. And again, in this case, there were a few information which was not provided in my prompt. And again, started asking me questions on based on this. For example, what is the specific choice router logic you would want to use? Because there are other logics as well. What auth configurations you would want to use, and etc. And once I gave those answers, that's when it started a task for me. So this is where it's invoking that special skills from the agents. That's wherein it's going to update or create the new code for you and then provide you the output. So if I click on this task here, it goes to my task page, wherein if I click on see details, this is where I was talking about how Curie builds its prompt. So this was the prompt that Curie provided, and based on this prompt, it's going to build the output for you. And if you remember from my whole chat conversation, I never gave this kind of prompt. All of this was generated based on our chat history and the knowledge of the entire chat, and it was able to generate the prompt. And if I click on review code, this is where you can see the output, wherein you can see all the files being generated. So you can click on global.xml. Here you can see the XML file for this. We have a .md as well. So if you click on error handler.xml, here you can see the XML file for error handling here. And we also have files for a YAML file. This is a main implementation file that was generated. So here you can see all the flows that was being generated according to the requirement. And you can download this project directly from this space. You can also provide a feedback if you would want to make some changes here. You can just click on any of the files for which you would want to make a change. Just ask it what feedback you would want to provide, and then just click on provide feedback. It will regenerate that code for you, or else you can just approve the code here, wherein you're good to go. So you might be wondering, okay, now we are on our platform, so should I just copy the entire code? And then, because you'll not be using this browser for generating or running this code in Anypoint Studio, right? So you will be obviously using the IDE. So as I mentioned before, we have our plugins for IDE, wherein I was talking about Anypoint Studio. So wherein you can see all the chats that were there in my browser here in the plugin. You can also see the task that was there here. And once it's completed, you'll be seeing these options called as apply changes, wherein when you click on apply changes, all of those updated changes that were seen in the browser, you can directly find it in the IDE here. Or if it's a new project that you started from scratch, a new project will be added directly in your IDE. So anything can be done directly from your plugins. You can go to chat. If you would want to start a new chat, click on just new chat here. And here also you can provide a code context. Let's say you have a project inside your Anypoint Studio, and if you would want to provide this as a code context, you can click on select project. That's where you'll be seeing all of these projects which is there. And you can just take any one of them, start a chat directly from here. And it's the same process again. You can see you can generating the task directly from your chat. And then when you go to task, you can see the status of your task, whether it's if it's completed, or if there is an input needed from you, or if there is also an error, you'll be seeing directly from the plugin here. So this is how we can use the plugin. And by the way, we also have plugins for Visual Studio Code. It's the same experience there again. And also the process on how you can get your plugin is quite simple. For Anypoint Studio, by the way, you can just go to the settings page here. And if you go to downloads, you can see the steps for Anypoint Studio plugin installation. You can take this link and go to help, and you can just click on install new software. Or if you would want a detailed step on how you can install this, you can go to our documentation where we have provided each and every step in detail on how you can use the plugin as well as install the plugin as well. So here I was there, like I was generate, like I showed you how you can generate raml specification and how you can generate the output here. So yeah, basically after the task has been created, you will be getting a good description of what was implemented. So here you can see the project structure as well. So you know exactly, even before the code is being generated, you know exactly what's getting implemented. So you can think about it. If you would want to make a change, you can always do that. And as I mentioned, you can always verify the prompt that we are building. So even before you submit a task, you can make some changes if it's required, or you're good to go there. So this was about how you can use the platform for generating API specifications and MuleSoft flow. But I would just want to quickly show you how we are going beyond the IDEs as well. So I would want to just quickly show you on the workflows that goes beyond the IDE. So for example, if I go to, let me see, I think, yeah, this one. So maybe you can take this as a scenario wherein, let's say, you deploy an application, right? So your application might be in a hypercare. So there might be chances that you get some issues. That's where some Jira tickets might have been raised on your name. But you might be wondering what exactly is the Jira ticket. You should know, you will be wasting a lot of time in understanding the Jira ticket first of all, and then you will be reading the description, and then you'll take a lot of time in first of all designing that and implementing, planning it. So but with QA you can do that automatically, wherein, as I showed you how you can integrate to Jira and Confluence. All you have to do is just ask it, hey, can you fetch all Jira tickets for me that are assigned to my name and which are currently in the to do state. And here in this case, there were two tickets assigned to me, so it gave me all those two tickets. So it told me what is the summary of that ticket, and if there is a type of it, the priority and also due date, it tells me what exactly is that information. If you would want to learn more about that ticket, you can just ask it, hey, can you please explain me in detail about what this Jira ticket is all about. You can just do that. But in this case, I was just I wanted to make sure that I create a design document out of this so that I can start implementing this. I just asked it, hey, can you please create a design document for me from the following Jira tickets. So in this case, I was asking it to optimize my code and as well as create a data view transformations. And after that, I also asked it to publish them to the Confluence space, which is under the name CurieTech AI. So in this case, it was able to successfully build the document and also publish that as well. If I click on the URL here, it directly goes to my Confluence. uh, I think it's loading. Yeah, here we can see the design document that was built. So it gave me a summary of what exactly was my Jira ticket, and also what is the current state analysis of my repository here. And if you're wondering why it's giving you all the information about the architecture, just to tell you, had also provided a code context in this case when I started a chat here. So that's the reason it was able to find out what exactly is my code right now, what is a Jira ticket description, what exactly has to be done to make sure that these issues are resolved. So here it was able to tell me what is the current flow architecture of this. So there were like 3 different use cases here. It told me about the identified performance issues that's being added in the ticket, and what is a proposed optimization, like how this can be resolved. It gave me some ideas about optimization in terms of data view, what data view was being used before and how this can be used or updated as well. And we have the implementation file which tells about how much time this would take. And this is not with Curie, by the way. This is just to tell you how much time this might take if you're doing it manually, just to give you like a ballpark estimation on how long this might take. And this will also tell you the success criteria of this, and some of the other documentation. Let's say, like, even if this is related to some other document, if it's able to connect to that, it's going to show you that document link here as well. So that's an important part. So yeah, basically it was able to create a design document for me, then publish it to my Confluence. So if I come back here, and yeah, the next thing I wanted to do is to implement those tickets for me, because I wanted it to make sure that my tickets are being resolved, and also that I can like go and enjoy. So I just asked it, hey, can you please implement these two Jira tickets for me? And that's it. It was able to do that. First of all, again, before starting a coding task, as I mentioned, it's going to ask you a few questions. Once I confirm with all of those answers, this is where the coding agent was started. And if I click on this, it's going to take me to my task tab here. And here we can see the timeline on what exactly were the things that were done. First of all, the task was submitted. It was in progress for some minutes. A draft was generated in just few minutes. And this means that a fully compiled and deployed code was generated after a few minutes. And if I click on review code, you can see the updated code here. So this was the old code that was there, and this is the new updated code. And in global.xml, it was able to update my connectors. And if I go to the settings page, sorry, the main implementation XML page, here we can see a lot of logical changes that were being done. And also in the data view, a new data view transformation was being added. And we can use this code. And since I was uh, like updating my Jira tickets, I asked it, hey, can you please update my Jira ticket status? At this stage, my coding task was not yet completed. So that's the reason it was able to update that to in progress. But once it's completed, you can just ask it, hey, can you please update that to the completed stage? So there is no need for you to even go to the Jira page and update it yourself manually. You can do that all from this chat interface directly from Curie here. um, and this is the troubleshooting scenario which I was talking about, wherein you can just paste your error message about what error you're facing, or either you can click on upload files here, wherein you can provide your image or any other error scenarios that you might be facing, and Curie will be able to find out the root cause for this. So in this case, there was some issues with the input payload, and what exactly is the solution that Curie is going to build. And again, we would not recommend users to just copy this code that is being shown in the chat interface. This is just for a suggestion or a recommendation. You can always ask Curie to start a coding task again to fix this issue according to the recommendations that it gave. It will start a new task for you. It will update that code and then generate that for you. So you can do a lot of things from this. And one more interesting feature which I talked about, it's like you can provide your meeting recordings as well. So if I go to the design document creation chat, so here we can see that I gave an MP4, which was a meeting recording where we were discussing about the integration use case, how we should build this integration API. So based on just my meeting recordings, this was able to provide me my summary, the business requirement, the architecture which we discussed there, what should be the experience layer, what should be the process layer, the system layer, etc. And how this should be implemented as well. It also gave me a good information about the open items being discussed inside the meeting. And you can create a design document just based on this meeting recording. So I just asked it to do that, and again publish that to my Confluence. It was able to successfully do that as well. And again, from based out of this, you can start working on things. You can start creating a Jira ticket. And as you can see here, it also gives you some information about what all other things that it can do after this, so that you have an idea of what all workflows that we support. So you can use that. I have like few more minutes. I would just want to quickly show you how we can also do code reviews, and maybe I can show you how we can do integration testing. So as I mentioned, code reviews are an integral part of the development phase, wherein it's very important to review what code you're pushing. So you can use code reviews directly within the chat interface, or you can go to settings page here, wherein you can click on API keys, wherein you can generate an API key, provide that to your Git platforms in the secrets and variables. You can add this curl command in your Git workflows. So whenever there is a new PR or whenever there is a new code change, Curie will automatically generate a code review task directly inside your Git platforms, wherein you can review that and then merge your code if everything looks good. And if you would want a detailed information on how this can be set up, you can go to our documentations. You can look at that. But let me quickly show you on this use case. So in this case, I provided my code context before I started my chat. And I just asked, hey, can you please review this code for me for the best practices and suggest any improvements? And I've also provided a PR link. So this is going to review this code according to this PR. If you don't give any PR, it's going to review the entire code for you. But if you would want to review a code for a specific PR, you can always give a PR link. And by in this case, it's going to review the code according to the best practices. But as I mentioned, if you have custom coding guidelines, you can always provide that in the settings page here, and also you can provide that in the uploads file section. So in this case, it was able to identify the bugs, on which location this bug was exactly found, what is the issue being identified, how this is going to impact your code as well, and it also gave you a fix on how you can resolve this issue. And there were like few more bugs. It was able to find out all of them. And then even after this, if you would want to just make sure that these changes are updated, just ask Curie here at the bottom, hey, can you please fix this issue and update the code for me? It's going to start a coding task and then generate the output. If I click on this PR link, it's going to take me to my GitHub. So I'll just show you how Curie can automate your code reviews in your Git platforms. So there is no need for users to even provide a prompt as well. So whenever there's a new code change or a new PR being raised, Curie will automatically generate a code review task. So here in this case, as we can see, Curie was able to first of all go through the code changes, identify the bugs again here, what is the issue, how you can fix this issue as well, and what is the reason for this fixing, why this will work. It gave you a good detailed explanation of it, and below we can see a PR review summary on this as well. And yeah, basically this is how it's very much helpful, especially if anyone is assigned a code review task. This might help them, and also as a human you might always miss some issues or some line of code which might cause an issue in the production. So it's always important to make sure that each and every line of your code is covered for reviewing that. So this was about code reviews. And I think if I just can quickly show you integration testing. So, and again, by the way, if you would want to do unit testing, you can click on unit test generator or either use the chat interface. Or let me show you the integration testing on how this works. This will also needs, and if you would want to like automatically deploy this to CloudHub while performing the integration testing, you would have to connect that to Exchange. And as I showed you in the settings page how you can do that. So let me quickly click on the test here. If I go to integration test generator, you can provide your code context in this. If I click on upload repository, I can click on this. Let me just quickly show you. Let me maybe provide a repository here. I click on save. So this is where you're seeing like it was able to fetch the flows for the repository for which you gave. So there were 4 flows in this, and you see the first option here which says auto generate test data for integration testing. If you enable this, Curie will automatically generate the test data for you. If you have specific data for which you would want to do the integration testing, you can disable this and then provide the data there, wherein you can provide the input and output examples. Or else you can enable this, and you can also provide schemas wherein with the help of the schema, Curie will be automatically Curie will automatically generate the test data which might be more accurate. So it's always better if you provide a schema there. And you can provide an extra notes for the repository for which you're uploading. If you think there should be anything that Curie should be knowing before even it starts the task for you. It might be specific scenarios for which you would want to build, or if there is any specific data view transformation for which you would want to make sure that that is being covered, you can add it here in the notes section. And even it might be some client credentials if this API is calling some other third party API, and if that is bounded by some client credentials, you can always provide that credentials here. So that will help you in providing you the right report. So and when I click on next, after I provide this information, this will take me to my deployment phase. This is where you'll see two options. Either you can deploy this application to CloudHub automatically, or you can provide your CloudHub URL if you have already deployed this manually. So you can do both the ways. But for this, you would have to provide your connections to Anypoint platform in the settings page. You can provide your VM arguments if there are any VM arguments, or else you can remove that and then click on next and just verify all the options that you have given. um, so if I want to show you a report on how this looks like, if I go to results, so here we can see there was a test report. And before that, we also see a Postman collection. So this is a collection in JSON format of all the test case scenarios that Curie was able to test this. So you can copy this and paste it in your Postman as well if you would want to look at that. And then you can click on the report section here to find out the whole report on what test case scenarios that Curie was able to test all of this. What is the HTTP status for these? What is the response time for each of these test cases? And you'll also be getting a note section here about each and every test case scenario. And for each of these test case scenarios, you'll be able to see the request payload that was being sent and the response that was being generated as well. And you'll also be finding all the information about those test case scenarios. And as you can see here in the report, some of them were successful, but some of them were failed. So if you come down a bit, so here we can see why this test case scenario got failed. So you can see the root cause for this as well. It's going to tell you what exactly happened in this case. And if you come down, it will tell you some recommendations on how to fix this as well. You can see the test coverage summary of this, and also the performance metrics as well on how good was your API performing during this integration testing. So you can get a good idea about your API that was built. And yeah, you have a whole lot of information about your API that was built on, and on based on this, you can always refine the code. You can all like download this test report and then provide this in the chat as well. Hey, and just say that this was the test report that I got when I tested my API. Can you please fix the issues that are there, and then generate the output for me? It can do that as well. So yeah, we have covered a lot of things in terms of not just coding, and apart from that, we can do a lot of things. And obviously I can't cover all the features that we support in 1 hour scenario. So it's you can go to our resources page on our website. We have the videos of other features that we support. And if you would want more information, you can reach out to us on Slack. We have our community as well, wherein you can always post any of your questions. We'll reach out to you there. And yeah, I think that's it from the demo for today. If there are any other questions, I'll be happy to answer that. RJ, over to you.
That was incredible. Thank you for sharing that. It was a very good demonstration and cleared up a lot of questions that I could have had about it. One thing Diane did say, she came in and then she had to drop for
Okay,
to
no
go
worries.
teach. But one thing that she did say was to maybe show how to get a trial account, or just explain that. So
Okay.
that way people can get it and try it
Okay.
in action, on their computer.
Yeah, so basically, what you can do is, let me quickly share again. You can go to our Curie website here. If you don't know what exactly, I'm sorry. You can go to our Curie page here. You can click on login. This will take to our platform page. Right now, it's already logged in. If I go to logout, you can just click on sign up, then sign up using your email or password, and then you'll be good to go. And once you're logged in, you'll be always in the free account. If you would want to upgrade, you will have an in the settings page wherein you can upgrade that. And if you would want to know more about the pricing, you can always go to our website. You can click on pricing here. If you would want to understand what are the different packages that we support, you can go to all of this and look at that. What are the skills that we support for each of these packages? And if there is anything that you would want to get more information, you can always contact us. You can also request a trial for your POC as well if you are working for any of your projects there. Especially if it's a migration, you can always reach out to us. And yeah, this is how you can start a free trial here with Curie. Anything else, RJ, from anyone?
That is perfect. I really appreciate you showing that.
No
Yeah,
worries.
if anybody has any questions, it's question and answer time.
Yeah.
The only while people are brewing up some questions in their head, one thing I just wanted to say, the only thing that I've heard like negative about CurieTech
Mm.
was the price. And I was talking to these people and I'm saying, though, think about it this way. You
Uh-huh.
just saved yourself a ton of time. So if you're a developer, you
Yeah.
know what your time is worth. My time is worth a lot because I have a lot of little babies and I'm busy, busy life, busy schedule.
Yeah.
And if you just knocked off like maybe even a day or two worth of work in a
Mhm.
matter of minutes, that price is not a problem to me. As a developer, it's going to pay for itself, isn't it?
That's true. That's true, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
And we
question
also
and answer
have
time. Any
ROI workshops wherein if you would want understanding and how this actually is helping you in getting your return on what you're investing with Curie, you'll understand why this will justify the price that you're paying here. And as I mentioned, we are not just generating the code, we are like covering the entire thing for you. So that's where you can find
right,
that value that you're paying for.
right. That's a really good question, Philip. So Philip in the chat asked, does the model train with your data?
So yeah, and again, if you're using your free account, the model is getting trained on what are the data that you're providing. But in any of the paid packages that you see here, none of your data is being trained or being retained by our AI models or either our platform. And always you have an option to delete the task right after you generate it. If you are, very much concerned about your security, but we also have a security blog which talks about this in detail. You can look at our website if you have any other questions on the security aspect. But on a high level, just to tell you, we do not train our models based on your data, or we don't retain your repositories after the code generation. It's just that for a specific period of time when you're generating the code, that's where we would need your data. But after that, you're always free to delete that. Or we also have a specific function called as time to live in our settings page, wherein you can set up a specific time, let's say for 6 hours, and after that time these data will be automatically flushed out from our platform. So I think you're good
Perfect.
in that sense. Yeah.
Yep, that makes sense. Thank you, Philip, for that question. Thank you, Christian, for the feedback. He said it was clear and appreciates it.
And also, like, just to add
Well,
on, a lot of enterprise customers are already using our platform. So just to give you an idea on the security as well, so a lot of these companies have already done the security reviews from our platform, and they are happy with it on how things are going. So yeah, just a quick heads up on that. Yeah.
makes sense. Thank you for clearing that up. Awesome. Well, that's everything. If there's no more questions, I was just going to share really quick what's going on next week. Everybody, check it out. Ryan's going to be presenting on streaming binary data with the open source chunking connector. Y'all come check it out. We'd love to see you all here. And I will stop the recording. Thank you again so much, Achyut, for coming here today. I know you
Yeah.
have to go. You said you had a hard stop at
Yeah.
11 minutes ago, so I'm going to let you go. All
Yeah.
right. Awesome. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.